Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're getting into something called Agentic AI.
That's right. It's a term popping up more and more.
And we're looking at it through, well, through a really insightful article by Vishal Kumar.
Yeah, Vishal's piece gives a great angle on how this isn't just, more of the same AI. It's potentially quite different.
Different in how it might fundamentally change how we work, right?
Exactly. It's looking at a deeper integration into our working lives.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's unpack what makes Agentic AI tick, according to Vishal, and what that could mean for the future of work. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Vishal starts with this really evocative analogy.
Ah, the city planning one.
Yeah. He compares traditional AI, especially large language models, to these centrally planned cities with tall towers of compute, big centralized processing hubs.
Right. It gives you this image of like massive power, but maybe a bit rigid, a bit disconnected from the streets,
That's definitely part of the picture he paints. And then he contrasts that with agentic AI.
which is more like a mid.
He calls it a shift towards peripheral wisdom. So instead of those central towers, think smaller, much more context-aware AI models.
Okay, so they're not in some data center miles away. They're embedded in the workflows.
Exactly. Learning in situ, as he says. Learning right there within the actual flow of work.
And that makes them different how. They're not just learning the what and how of a task.
That's the crucial bit. But Vijal argues they're learning the why, too. They're interpreting human goals, intentions, even picking up on emotional context in real time.
Wow. So they become, what did he call them? Workplace native intelligences.
Yeah, because they understand the specific environment they're in.
And that leads straight into another huge point in the article, the role of language. It's more than just input, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Language is central. Vishal frames it as interface, infrastructure, and insight. It's the whole operating system, basically.
Okay, break that down. How does language enable this peripheral wisdom?
Well, it's through language processed in these specific work contexts, these edge learning environments, that the AI learns the local dialects of work.
Local dialects, I like that. What's an example?
Think about, say, the word done. Does done mean first draft submitted? Or does it mean approved by 3 managers and ready to ship?
Ah, right. Huge difference depending on the team or the project.
Exactly. Or how urgency is communicated. Is it an all CKPS email, a quick ping on Slack? The AI learns these nuances by processing the language used there.
So it's learning the culture, the unwritten rules, through how people talk and write within their specific work bubble.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which ties into Vishal's leadership insight.
That the future isn't just about giving instructions.
Right. It's built on interpretation. The AI needs to interpret context, and maybe we do too. We need to get better at understanding those subtle signals ourselves.
Okay, but here's a thought. If AI gets that good at understanding nuance, doesn't that sound like it's going to take over even more human jobs?
It's a natural question, but Vishal presents a kind of counterintuitive idea
Which is?
that as AI gets more nuanced, the future of work actually becomes more human, not less.
How does that work? Explain that paradox.
Well, the argument is that agentic AI takes over the, let's call it the grunt work, the routine stuff, the brittle mechanics of knowledge retrieval and coordination, as Vishal puts it.
Okay, so the repetitive tasks, managing information flow, that gets automated.
And that frees us up. It frees up human workers to focus on the things that, well, make us human.
You mean like creativity, empathy, complex judgment calls, the stuff that's hard to code?
Exactly that. Agentic AI then becomes a tool that magnifies those human capabilities.
So our role shifts. We're not just doing the tasks anymore.
We move from being the executor to the orchestrator, from the task doer to the context holder. We guide the AI, provide the bigger picture.
Orchestrator and context holder. I like that framing. And Vishal says this means certain skills become way more important.
Yeah, things like emotional fluency, understanding and managing emotions, narrative thinking, being able to craft and understand stories, and community sense-making, like understanding group dynamics.
Skills that maybe weren't always top of the list in traditional efficiency-focused workplaces.
Definitely. As the machines handle the transactions, our ability to connect, persuade, understand motivations, that becomes our unique value.
Which seems like a good place to bring in TAO.AI's vision of Worker One. What's that about?
So worker one is their concept of the ideal future professional. High-performing, yes, but also compassionate.
Okay, and how does agentic AI fit in with Worker One?
The key is that the AI acts as an ally. It's not directing worker one, it's
Oh.
adapting to them. It learns their habits, their preferences, the culture they work in.
So the AI supports their growth, but in a human-centered way.
Exactly. It's a partnership, not a top-down instruction manual. Vishal uses another great analogy here.
The leafcutter ants.
Yeah. Cultivating ecosystems. Like the ants, everyone, humans and AI works together for the collective good, building something bigger. It's about the health of the whole system.
Moving away from just pure extraction value towards something more symbiotic.
That's the idea. A more holistic, interconnected way of working.
Okay, wrapping things up, Vishal ends with a pretty powerful reference.
He brings in Rachel Carson's Silent Spring.
Right, and her warning about ignoring subtle signals in the environment.
And he draws a parallel to today, saying the critical signals we need to watch are digital. They're in our data, our language, our online behaviors,
And this leads to the big question he leaves us with.
which is fundamentally,
Yeah.
what will we choose to amplify with this AI? Will it be our best human qualities, creativity, empathy, judgment?
Or will we inadvertently amplify, as he puts it, our most efficient shadows? Maybe making work more productive but less human.
It frames the choice really starkly. Agentic AI, he argues, forces us to choose. But the choice isn't really humans versus machines.
What's the real choice then?
It's between extraction, just squeezing out efficiency, and emergence.
Emergence, meaning cultivating an environment where unexpected positive things can grow from that human-AI collaboration.
Exactly. Fostering a system where intelligence is symbiotic, growing together, not just synthetic, purely manufactured.
A call to action, really, to consciously build that kind of future.
It is. It puts the responsibility on us to guide this technology wisely.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap this deep dive on agentic AI through Vishal Kumar's lens. We've seen it's this shift away from giant central AI brains,
Towards smaller, smarter agents embedded right in our work, learning the context, the why,
learning through language, picking up those local dialects of how we actually get things done.
which potentially frees us humans up to focus less on routine tasks and more on creativity, empathy, judgment, our core human strengths.
And this vision, like the Worker One concept, paints a picture of AI as an ally, adapting to us, supporting us in a really human-centric way.
Leading to that final crucial choice between extraction and emergence.
So the question Vishal implicitly asks, and maybe we should all be asking, is how will you engage with these systems? How will you help foster that emergence, that more symbiotic future? Definitely food for thought. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.